want a ticket, they will get you a ticket. So he's going to send me an email and I'll send it out. If anyone's interested, let me know if you want a ticket. And this is here for anybody to see.
That's another issue that council has to follow through.
Okay, we're going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Okay, Rafael, you want to lead that, please? Stand.
Please stand. Raise the flag with your right hand over your heart. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thanks. Please be seated.
Our secretary's not here, so I'm going to take roll. Vera, Pozo, here, Mynor.
Here.
Rafael.
Here.
Nicole.
Here.
Marisol.
Present.
Present as community officer or area one. No, I'm kidding. I'm not sure how we need to put that on our list. Yeah, because but you're also an area one seat, and that we need to designate both. But as for now, I just put you in there twice.
Oh, okay, I see.
All right.
Perhaps with //
Yeah, we're going to have a long okay. There's our roll call. Okay, and then the first thing we're going to do on our agenda for the general board meeting will be the presentation, introduction, and oath of office for the executive board and for the new members. The new members that were put in, I believe, May 27th and maybe even prior. I don't believe you've taken the oath, so I'll take the oath of office. Okay, there will be general public comment, and we have the regular explanation there that goes with that. Okay, any questions? This is going to be kind of open. This is my first meeting, and I need to get the vibes, and I don't want anybody excluded. And like I said, I'm working from the agenda that I hope that we'll be able to use pretty much as the one, because I have to go home, print it, and post it tonight. Okay, we have presentation of the 6th Street Viaduct, 4 minutes, no Q&A. Does anyone have any comment, change, or is this fine? Okay?
On number 4, going back to that, you have please note that under dash the Brown Act, that should go out.
Thank you.
Okay. Sorry.
Okay, number 6, the Great Street Challenge. We've been requested to put them on our agenda. What we are planning on doing is put them on our agenda for 5 minutes with no Q&A. At that time, we're going to decide under which committee they will go forward to. Be it outreach, is it something the community needs to know? Is it PLUC? Is it something under their jurisdiction, outreach, whatever. So from that we'll get that information. Number 7 is the presentation from the Braceros. They have a statue in Hollenbeck, and they just want to let the community know that it's there, I believe. So we're going to give them 5 minutes, and we'll also do with them the same thing. Okay, the next, government reports. That's the usual reports from any city official coming to our meeting. And I believe one of the staff from Weezer's office will be giving us the oath of office. Okay, number 10, clarifying standing rules, the intent of the board to fill the requirement of the bylaws in setting up the new board without violating the Brown Act. What we did is we eliminated 2 of the community officers, but that was explained prior to the voting, and there was no question. But as we go forward and it was brought to question, if we put the other 2 in, we're going to have a quorum of 10 for the executive board, which is our quorum for a general meeting. So we could actually have a meeting without anybody and go forward.
What other 2 are you talking about?
According to the bylaws, it was supposed to be 4 community officers, not 2.
Right. You can't change that.
It had to change because of it being the same quorum as for the general board.
No, it does not. Jake is wrong.
Well, this is from Lila Campos from Dunn. She's the one that stated
She's
for me
wrong
to
too.
put that in.
She needs to go to city attorney. We went through city attorney with this.
Okay, well,
Before it was
apparently they
approved.
did, but I will check
And
with
you're
them.
gonna have to change the bylaw.
Well, that's what we were first gonna do, and
We're
they came
waiting,
back.
yeah, we're waiting for Dunn to schedule time to work on it.
Yeah, and that'll go into Nicole's ballpark, because she does he's amending the bylaws.
You know, the sad part is that, and I know you guys wanna get,
No problem, Connie.
we didn't want this. We did not want this big of a meeting for the executive board, okay? We wanted a regular executive board. But Dunn pushed us to have this kind of executive board because they felt that it was gonna be more fair to have that. And where you explained to as to why, so the executive board would not have the power to do whatever they wanted to. Then you had 4 people from the community members that would support the general board. So that's why that was put together, and that came from Dunn, it did not come from us. That was created by Dunn. Then we questioned the quorum, because that meant for the quorum for the general board. Then they said, okay, that's when we went to the city attorney, they went to the city attorney. And they said, okay, this will be a combined meeting. It's an executive and general board
Yeah,
combined
that's
meeting.
why they had me change.
Yeah.
the
But
reading
that
on
is part of what was established, and that was established by Dunn. I just hate the idea that every time somebody new and Dunn gets new ideas, then all of a sudden they say, well, you're wrong, you know?
No,
The issue in the bylaws is that the executive officers of the board, as explained in section 1, conflicts directly with the executive committee description.
Yeah.
Both say that there's 8 officers, but in the first, they leave out, well, they don't leave out, they just don't explain outreach and special events and the planning and land use officer being present at the meetings, and it only says on that 2 community officers. In the executive committee makeup, it says 4 community officers, and it's not just general public, general community, it's still people from within the board. So
Right,
it's not just any general community
As
person.
long as it's not the planning and land use, and it's not the planning and land use, and one other one, outreach.
So that's
They
why
cannot run for that.
in this document that we have, both our bylaws as well as what's here in our agenda, you can see the conflict directly between community officers as described as 2 people in section 1, and in the executive committee described as 4 people. In both, it's not
Where
clear.
does it describe 2 people?
Well, there's an
So the
explanation
bylaws-
under executive committee, and then there's one under,
So in the bylaws, if you
Executive
go
officers.
to the governing board section, actually, it's not the governing board. Yeah, it's the executive specifically. So if you go to Article 6, officers, executive officers of the board, it says there shall be 6 executive officers of the Boyle Heights Neighborhood Council. And it lists all of them out.
Under Article 5 is the governing board.
I make a public comment.
will it define this? Will it explain what they're looking for? Okay, Carlos?
Yeah, there's obviously a conflict in the bylaws.
Yeah, that's the whole problem.
Right. Now, last year, we had, Leila Campos came to our elections last year,
Mhm.
and she explained the process, and we did it one way. It looks like now somebody else is doing it a different way.
And she decided that's the way she wants it now.
So you
That's
talked to
why
her-
Terry
You
said
talked to her
yes.
this year again?
Yes. Mhm.
Because
You
the
see
last year
that?
she did
I have
the
an
other way.
email from her directly. Yeah.
Okay.
That's what
Leila or
Terry is
Leila?
saying,
I see
people,
that. Anita or Leila? Anita
Leila.
Larios.
no, Leila.
Taneda's the
He
new one,
does.
but Leila was the one that did the elections last year.
She did it last year,
Yes,
right?
but Teneda's no longer with
Well, let
us.
me just kind of finish. So I'm with the position of Leila Campos last year. We have the VP, President, Secretary, Treasurer, one, and we have 4 community officers that are on the steering committee, which allows better democracy, transparency
Right.
by the board, right? So we've been operating this way for a year now. So now, and so the
No,
PLUC.
not for a year, since 2008.
Right, so
And
John
that
Boyle,
was
yeah,
from
for a year,
Dunn.
right. So now all of a sudden we
Okay,
have
but
to
the thing
plug
is
the
that
outreach.
this is what Leila told me now,
Yeah.
and I agree with you. They changed what they
They
did.
cannot do that.
They do that constantly, they do it constantly.
No, they can't.
But Nicole is gonna work on this
Okay,
because it goes under the Rules and Elections
Okay.
Committee. So that'll be under
there's
her.
a word that they don't use, intention. What was the intention, the original intention? And there's people here, including myself, maybe Vera, Diana, that weren't here when we created this bylaw. And the intention, we know what the intention is, and they can't fight that intention. And I had a fight with them a lot of times because they were wrong. I also argue with the city attorney because they come up with their own ideas.
Yeah, but,
You know,
I mean,
they
I
can't do
also,
that.
I hear that, and I mean, you know, collectively, I think the board's frustrated with the turnover at Dunn, but I mean, I go back to the same thing that, as written, and if it was overlooked by the city attorneys, or if this was approved by Dunn, either way, it still stands that it says the number 2, community officers on one, and it says 4, the number 4 on the other one.
And I'll tell you,
However they translate it when they're in a meeting like they did last year, it doesn't matter, because in writing, I still see 2 in one statement and 4 in the other. It's not an interpretation, it conflicts.
Yeah.
So I think, you know,
well,
again.
I'll tell you, I have the original bylaw in front of me. And I know that Dunn, after we approved it and we went through it, they changed it without telling us. Okay? So how many times have they changed it without telling us and without going through us first?
But that's why being agendized now, we're creating the standing rule
Okay.
as a board for what we're gonna be governed by.
And
So
Nicole
we
will
define.
work
So you need to change the
Nicole
bylaw.
will work.
Right, but
Well,
they've already been
You're
submitted.
gonna have to stand firm too.
Yeah,
with
with the
it.
city attorney, though.
Find out exactly what is it, give us the right.
There's one other issue on there, is who could vote for the executive committee. It mentions in there that the executive officers, cannot vote. And we took the last time there was a vote on that for the executive committee. That's another clarification on this issue takes place. Who could vote for the executive committee?
Okay, got that. All righty. Fanny, just a quick explanation for you. I've given you the 19th, which would be today's agenda, but because of the need of urgency to post this, you also have one for the 24th, which is what I want to update and complete today so that we can post it. But it's the exact same thing, I just changed, agendized, as if it was already on the agenda, et cetera. Okay, but everything else is the same. You can go back and forth and check if you like. Okay, now we are on number 11. Discussion and possible review of the executive committee agenda. Well, that's what we mentioned. Okay. Oh well, you know what? We need to make a motion to accept this as the agenda for the executive board. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion to approve the agenda for the executive meeting.
Do I have a second? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those against? Okay. The committee reports?
You should put down what time Fanny came in, which was at 6:35, and she is facing a vote, and your account went up almost one more on your forum. Okay? Sorry.
Committee reports, outreach, special events, Stephen's not able to make it, and did anybody get any special requests from Stephen to make a change here? Okay, then we're gonna go ahead to the next one, I'm gonna leave that open for him to give us information at the meeting. Okay, PLUC, planning and land use discussion of possible action. Oh, I didn't change topic from the agenda. Okay. Mynor, can you get us going on that one, please?
Yeah, so I just have a question whether the committee reports will be different from what we have agendized as actual action items after that. So is there a difference, or should I just have all of my action items underneath committee reports?
I could just put, I can eliminate all those agenda issues. Is Sears one of the things that you have? Yes. Is Lorena and First there? These are things that people have brought to my attention that they want to know about. That's why they're like that.
Right.
You tell me how you want me to do it.
So if it's just updates on things, I would, okay. So can we just change it, rather than saying agendas, can we just say it's, update regarding
Approval of Sears project, or is that on here?
So, it's not on there, so I would just say, update regarding Sears project, update regarding Lorena and First Street, which is a Community of Friends project.
Sears project.
And then I would just put update regarding Exide.
Exide, I think it's spelled wrong, they have a C in there.
So it's, what was that again? I'm sorry.
So just update regarding,
Update.
and then it's going to be Sears
Update
project.
on, just an update on Excite?
Yeah, update regarding
EX.
IDE.
I talked to Hassan yesterday from the Sears projects, and they will be available on for the general board meeting to present. Okay.
Next Wednesday.
Right.
I just feel like it doesn't, I think we have pending items and Sears has canceled on us like 3 times. So I just feel like it's going to take up time that we don't necessarily have, and we can agendize them a different time. But I'm happy to give an update on everything that's happened up to this point.
Well, the last meeting they came, they didn't see themselves on the agenda. That's why they didn't present.
In May?
In May, yeah.
What
You
happened
weren't here
is
in May.
that it was combined, 2 of them were
Oh, yeah.
combined, so you couldn't see Sears.
But they were on the agenda, because they were on the,
But
because
they
people
just
They were
ran
not,
into
they were not agendized properly.
But they were on the
They
agenda.
were, but they weren't at the same time. They didn't see themselves as a number item.
Yeah, they were not a number item. It was combined with the one that was created.
So that created the confusion, that's why they didn't present. So they talked to me and they asked me to be added for the next, for this month's agenda to present and possibly be approved for their request.
All right.
Support.
Well, I mean, I guess I'll leave it up to you depending on how much time you have, Vera, but I would just say, I mean, at this point, let's just put update regarding Exide and update regarding Lorena and First Street.
Okay?
If we decide to agendize the Sears project as an item, we can just take that off.
Okay, so I'm just gonna put them as a number right now.
Yeah, let's just, they already are actually, they're number
Oh, they are,
15.
okay, so that, all right, so 13 is, the conditional use.
Yeah, so that one, we already approved that. And
This
that's a
is
letter
for
that
the-
I sent over to you.
Okay, this is the.
That one should get taken
West.
off.
Okay,
Yeah.
take that one off.
That one's already done.
And same thing with 14.
Yeah, that one's already been approved, the letter's pending.
This is the one for USC High
Correct.
House is done. I'm gonna
Correct.
delete it.
All they're waiting is for their letter of support to be issued from us.
Alrighty, and then, 13, so then 13 is now Sears project.
Yeah, so, you know, again, the issue with the way that Sears has come up to the board is, I just feel like we've never actually discussed the project the way that we were supposed to, because originally it was motioned as a joint PLUC and general board meeting to hear just Sears project on an agenda, but instead it got crammed into a PLUC meeting where we spent the last 10 minutes before we got kicked out of the library on the Sears project. And they're coming back with their environmental impact report, their traffic studies. I mean, they had a PowerPoint that we didn't even get to go all the way through, so.
Can we give them a certain time limit then?
So we can,
And request them to bring handouts for the community? So that there's less Q&A maybe, or maybe they can answer more by giving people something in their hands to look at, and therefore eliminate as much time
They do have a website, in which
They did the handouts
they have.
two meetings ago.
So, I mean, if you have the time, right, you know, I think 30 minutes at least to hear this project and really, I mean, it's a major project in our neighborhood, so I just feel like they need that time. And
So let's give them 30 minutes and then let's go back and add up since we've taken these other ones off.
The questions and answers is what takes the time.
right, and what I mean about the way that they've been coming up to the neighborhood council is that if you look at the last time they made the presentation, I asked for what community engagement they've done, you know, the community presentations. Half of those are coming to the board, but those aren't actually community. If you can't have a huge Q&A session, then that's not a community meeting. That's just, hey, we showed up and checked off a box because it was a community meeting. But I just feel like, you know, I want to see stuff happening around the Sears, their zone of influence, essentially.
Can
Not just
we
neighborhood
also
council.
require them to go to, have something to do with outreach then? So that they're required to do a certain amount of outreach in the community, other than coming to us over and over again?
Yeah, because they came to the PLUC twice, but they didn't have what we needed, which was the environmental impact report. But that's still down to the community meeting. Yeah.
Are they going back to the PLUC with the environmental?
So they did, but we only
They
spent
did.
10 minutes on the
They have
entire
it
thing.
ready.
Well, you know, you understand that once it goes to committee, the discussion should be made at the committee, not at the general board.
Right.
At the general board, you need to limit the questions and answers.
So that, you know, that's my point. I just feel like because it got confused because they canceled a whole bunch of times and they ended up going back to the PLUC when they were supposed to be their own agenda, special meeting, joint general board meeting.
Right.
Because it happened that way, we're in a situation now where the Q&A hasn't really happened, but we're already going to take a decision by the board, which is why I don't feel confident in saying, let's just have them come to the board for a decision, especially since we have all these new members. That's originally why they canceled on us. They said, let's wait till you get a new board.
Yeah.
And so for me, I just feel like we haven't actually had the Q&A session with them. And I'm okay with calling a special joint PLUC general board if nobody shows up except for PLUC members. That's fine. At least we called the meeting. They have their own separate agenda item, and we had the Q&A opportunity.
Well, what we can definitely put here then is that mandatory to meet at a special meeting, and just on their sake.
And this is just a question for you guys. They have been going and having presentations all over the community, including Boyle Heights and on the other side of the river. I know they've done like 3 at Resurrection, and I don't know where else. They really have, it's a legion and everything. So I don't know if you want to take that into consideration, that they have actually gone out there, and a lot of people know about it. I've seen it 3 times.
Yeah, so
It's like crazy.
we've asked them to submit that list also.
So I don't know if you guys want to take that into consideration.
Yeah.
So, again, I leave it up to the executive committee to really decide, but that's really my only thing, is I felt like when it came back to the PLUC, we had 10 minutes at the end of a meeting,
Right.
and this is a major project, so.
But they have been, they have been out in the committee. My feeling is that they have gone out as requested. I would like to put something in here that they do have to, maybe share a list with us of the meetings they have now. Yeah. Okay?
Did you know that there was a hearing already? I was at the hearing.
What was it?
Huh?
It was last
They gotta
Friday.
make a decision. That's where my knowledge goes.
Okay. So then we're on number 14.
Yeah, so this is a monopalm antenna. This is actually early on in their application. They don't have their hearing until a while from now, so again, so that we can have more time for other stuff, I would just say we can keep this one off until future.
And you're gonna contact them and let them know?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm taking off since there's time, the time element of, yes.
Real quick, I attended the hearing for the zoning for the hotel project on Primary Street, and they want to know opinion, they have issues to deal with from Caltrans. Okay, I use deal with her also, and they were told that to wait until that issue gets taken care of.
Yeah, they rushed through the applications.
Mhm.
That's all right.
Alrighty, the next thing we have, the next we have is Carlos Jr.
Yeah, so there's nothing really changing. All they're doing is changing the facade of the building, or facades.
Oh, okay.
So they really just need to update us on that. I don't think it's something that needs to be agendized. You can just ask them to come in during general public comment, just to let the community know that this is happening.
So can I go ahead and put them at the beginning with their presentations, and you let them know that?
Yeah, 5 minutes is more than enough time for that. That's all they took. But
That's all they do, that's all. They don't need that much here. You would do, is there any preference where you want them, right now we have the 6th Street Bridge and the Gray Street and the Braceros. Is it okay after the Braceros?
yeah.
How do you want me to state that? Just demolition and rebuild of Carl's Jr. Restaurant?
Yeah.
That's good. Everything else will be explained. Okay, now we're back to 15, the neighborhood committee. Discussion and possible action regarding these items. Rafael, Nicole, either one of you have any update on that? I don't know who's running it right now.
You mean Marisol?
Marisol?
But it's, the E section is part of 12, right? 12E or 12D? Because
It should be 15.
Oh,
15,
okay.
because we have eliminated
Okay.
13. 14 is Sears.
Yeah.
Okay, so 15 is where we're at, and that's
Neighborhood committee.
okay, that I should have a time.
Only because it's, that's
Committee
part of the committee
reports.
reports. Okay.
Yes,
okay.
here I go, sorry.
All right, no, if anything, I'm not sure, I don't remember if we had already approved the third agenda item for the board for the pet waste. It's a matter of just getting Fanny the vendor that Pico Union has already used for these doggy waste bags.
That was approved.
That was approved.
Yeah,
Right.
So I can take that off
then.
I'm gonna take that off.
Yeah, okay, so
Yeah.
yeah, if you could take that out, that'd be great. And then for the agendas, the item for action for the earthquake presentation, not program, I'm thinking that would probably be going towards outreach if they want to do something like that. It was recommended for the neighborhood committee to raise that issue, to host some sort of program workshop in September, but we could just send it over to the outreach and they could decide whether they want to
Okay,
do
so I'm gonna
that.
take it off, and then I'll talk to Stephen about
Yeah.
how he wants it in for the next meeting, since he's not here today, I don't wanna add
Okay.
something that he's not aware of, is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine. And then the fourth one is just possible action regarding the dog parks, because the last email that we got in regards to the parking meters,
Mm-hmm.
it was recommended that we have, what is it called when you get a petition from the community along First Street to, not the First Street stores, businesses, who want that, time limit raised. So I was thinking maybe doing something similar for the dog park, getting like petition from community members who want a dog park. That way we could come into research and Parks and Rec with something set in
In your
stone.
hand.
Yeah,
Okay.
so that's it for,
What about the cost of residence? I got two years from.
yeah, no, that one's the first one. That's, yeah, we
We
need to
can still
discuss it.
discuss that, okay, good.
So we
Alright.
have those two items.
Sorry,
Okay, now, Fanny, on the budget and finance, on the final update of 2014-15 budget, do you want to do that in July since it will be done with this year then? Would that be better for you?
Yes.
Okay, let's put that for, let's put that. Okay, Okay, and then we have, discussion, possible approval of budget purchase on office supplies. Okay, I'm gonna need ink. I don't know if anybody else, we need paper for the cubicle area.
Yeah.
And I'll be giving you the key and giving you that computer. I haven't downloaded it, I've been a little busy, I'm sorry.
Okay.
But I'll be getting you that
Okay.
and getting you moved in there. I
So
have the
you-
camera today, but Steven's
Do you
not
want
here.
ink, paper, what kind of, do you wanna go with me, or do you just wanna give me the list of what to buy?
I'll give you I have the paper, actually, I'll let you know.
Cool.
Does anybody else need something, a flash drive and keeping your documents, et cetera? Everybody's-
I would need a 3-hole puncher, I don't know, 3-hole puncher.
Okay, so anybody needs anything, please give it to Fanny, and then
And
you
a
can
stapler.
give us
What do you need?
USB.
USB?
Storage.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually.
You know, why don't you get like 6
Maybe
of
one
them?
for each.
Get 6 for all the chairs, and let's get our information on, a flash drive,
Sweet, okay.
okay? And then, let's see, we have the approval, and you have the budget ready for us to approve?
Yes, I actually sent you one today, but I'm gonna send you another one.
Okay, I'll wait till
Okay.
Monday, and I'll
Okay.
print that, and
Yeah.
then, you also have MERs, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so let me put that in.
But I'm probably gonna buy stuff for the meeting,
No
so,
problem.
and I add this stuff when I go buy the supplies on it too. So-
Okay, the MER is May, because you.
May is fine.
May, okay, so it's just June?
June, yeah.
And that's it, anything else?
Oh yeah, oh yeah, I needed to tell you, Marlene sent me an email asking that they're gonna do an ad for the neighborhood council. So I forwarded to Steven, because he's the outreach, right? Do you want me to CC you with that? Do we have to talk about it, or can he just take care of it?
He can take care of it, outreach officer,
Okay.
definitely.
All right.
Yeah, and I didn't want to get us a picture, when we have the elections next week as a group, to put in, the paper, to put on our website. And then, if you can all please send me a little idea of what you want to do, what you want to accomplish for this year. I want that to be the president's letter. And we can put that in, that as a group, this is what we want to do, what we want to accomplish. If you have a certain area you're concerned with, you know, especially like your neighborhood, give me neighborhood stuff, you know, Mynor, maybe you could give me some updates on the community, what's happening or something, okay? And then we'll put that as the president's letter, and we can have it on our website. So maybe kind of general, so the community knows what we're doing and what our goals are.
Can I just recommend something, because I know that last year we had allotted some money in our budget to do some sort of like retreat for the board. Can we, like, I think like what you're saying, it
Yes.
sounds a lot like a retreat to kind of like organize ourselves and seeing our goals and our vision for the upcoming
Definitely.
year.
You know, I'm gonna ask the captain if we can get in here for the day.
Okay.
And what day is good for you? I know you have families, I don't wanna mess that up. When we did the last retreat, it was from like 8 to 12. We had lunch and everybody went home. You know, is Saturday good? Or evening, you want 8 to, we're always there 8 to 11 anyway. I mean, what's the consensus that we can suggest?
Yeah, I prefer Saturday morning.
Okay.
And
Okay, so,
To agendize the retreat.
thank you for bringing that up.
I think the board really needs that, that retreat.
We put the vote for that
We're at
before committee report.
before committee report. And, we're gonna do, discuss
just for the general board?
and possible.
It's set date.
Yeah, okay, so maybe I want to do,
Board retreat, board retreat.
okay, only one. You know what, the traffic was actually blocking because they were trying to go in the front to jump into the 5.
Saturday,
And I was like,
that we have a parameter there. Okay, and then, let's see. wanna wait till the July meeting, which is actually the first month of our term, or ideas? Anything?
I would like to, if we can make the board retreat in before, I would like to host a bylaws and rules and election meeting within the next 2 weeks, especially for the newest members, to give them an overview of the bylaws and the neighborhood council kind of system in general. So I think it would be beneficial if we maybe table this for a July meeting, so everybody that has just come on board has a better understanding of what our role is as an advisory board and what their potential could be with the seats that are available and the committees that are available as well. Because we need to also fill our committees and, so I think it might be more beneficial if we,
Transportation
yeah.
environment, we need an education ad hoc.
And we also need to do the Area 2 seats. I mean, I think maybe if we hold that for July and focus on outreach also for the Area 2 seat, as well as really informing our new members what the roles and responsibilities are for this. So
Which is what we, that's what the retreat is.
right, which would, so I say if we have until late July, it'd be better.
Alrighty.
So I would also say in terms of committee reports,
Mm-hmm.
I would prioritize the budget and finance committee go first. Then talk about outreach, if we want to know, I think we need to stay on top of before we're getting the word out about our meetings.
And we do have a
Not as fast as we know. Okay, committee reports, we want budget and finance first.
Yeah, and outreach. That should really be.
Hang on. I've been retired too long and my lights turned off. Okay, so budget and finance first, and then outreach?
Yeah. And then we can get into the larger actionable stuff that is external, which is the PLUC, and then the other committee stuff. Actually, rules and election is part of PLUC too.
So right now we have budget and finance, and then we're gonna do
Then PLUC, and then
okay, but I had put outreach at the beginning because I thought the 4th of July.
That's this weekend, right?
Yeah,
So,
so that was very important for this time, but I think afterwards you can put them down here under committee report. Is that all right?
Just because we have time sensitive.
Because of outreach being so important for him to get started, get going, and get the word out. Okay, so I'm gonna leave outreach at the beginning where we have it, but then, so I have budget and finance, and then neighborhood committee, or you want rules and election before that?
Neighborhood committee's fine. Rules and elections are still over.
Okay.
Trying to get a reconciliation.
Okay, alrighty. Okay, so then, I'm gonna take out, okay, we already added the things for the agenda, items under the committees, chair, taking all that out. So now we're on announcements, and the next general board meeting is Wednesday, July 29th.
Starting in July, we'll need a new webmaster. And vendor, we can no longer use Aaron Fanny, he's not on the approved list. We do have the list from done, there are 10 vendors we can select from.
So we have to do a vendor selection for our website.
Yes. I'm not sure. I have been in talks with one vendor in particular, that's willing to come out with a presentation, but just in terms of like, selecting the vendor should probably procure at least 2 or 3 quotes, just for, to make sure the process is.
Okay, so how do you want to work this? Do you want to work it with bringing them the information on those 3 vendors? Do you want us to have them come out all at once? Do you want them to come out one each month? Do you want them to give us a sample of what they're doing, and we can go see? If they're all approved by Donna, I'm sure they're all
So I can
working
send out
on
the
somebody's.
list, so we can just kind of start looking on our own, but I think it would be a good idea to have at least a couple of them come out and present to the board. So,
Wasn't it just give us a proposal or a proposal presentation?
yeah, some of them have some really cool innovative technologies, and we can.
Yeah, if they can
There's a lot
come,
more encompassed than just being a webmaster and updating our website, that's included in their fee, that's a lot more reasonable than what we've been charged. So it's interesting to see how we can use the platforms, because it will be much more of a tool for us in terms of just even outreach and engagement.
so right now I have vendor selection for our website. we will review proposals? Or,
Yeah, let's start with, just, agendizing, maybe just discussion and looking at a few proposals, and then if need be, in July, we can have them come out, we can make a final decision then.
Just last thing, are you done with that?
For the next general board meeting, July 29th, that's a fifth Wednesday. Is it gonna be the 22nd instead?
Yeah.
Or
Or
fine.
is it the 22nd?
Yeah.
I thought I saw.
Or whatever, for July?
Yeah, I thought I saw.
It needs to
First.
This is Wednesday.
Yeah, because there's 5 weeks.
5 weeks, so it'd still be the fourth, Wednesday, correct?
Yeah.
Yep. Still has
So
to
that would
stay
be the
before.
22nd, July 22nd.
Yep, 22nd, you're right.
Yeah.
Very good, very good. Okay, and that means that, the executive meeting will be the third Tuesday, so that'll be. 14th.
So I don't know if you already took these off, but I always feel like when we add items from all other committees, like perhaps on the written one, it's number 19, and then 21 executive committee items not listed on today's agenda. I feel like it's helpful because it leaves it open in case we have any additional things, but I don't know that
What
we
would you
should.
like?
I'd rather we not leave open-ended items like that on the agenda, because I just feel like it kind of,
That's not for the.
this is the items from all other committees.
Oh.
I took it out.
Okay.
Because that was supposed to be our
So
discussion
today,
for
is that it? For the agenda?
Ah.
So if we have something that come up, we can,
Yes, I agree with that, so, not on an
yeah, like, don't
agenda.
take that away.
So I have the committee reports, and then I have the announcements, and then the next general meeting, July 22nd.
Yes.
Now, speaking of the retreat, it's related, we also have to start making a real commitment to go to the NC Congress coming up in September. That is a really huge learning tool of how the system works for every board member. And the last couple of years, we haven't shown that much of attendance to it. We have to start promoting that in our, for everybody, in the board.
It'll be good.
Yeah.
I would appreciate a reminder, because sometimes I forget.
Yeah, it's,
So
this
I think
year-
that is something we should have in July, definitely, again,
Yeah.
because it's our new fiscal year, our new,
Yeah.
and it is it's an awesome
Yeah.
place. You go and you hear from everybody. You hear
This
from
year
the
is gonna-
attorney, you hear
yeah.
from everybody about everything. And they usually have an ethics class, everybody has to update it.
Yeah,
They usually have,
this year's gonna start at 7:45 to 4, and it's gonna be on the last Saturday of September.
yeah.
So that gives us plenty of time to start,
Yeah, maybe you can, if they have a flyer, if you could have it available for the July meeting,
I'll look for it.
and we'll start working on that
Alright.
for July. Is there anything else on this meeting? Yes,
Yeah.
Minor.
So I don't see minutes for all of the items, and so I just want to make sure that we're conscious of how much time we're taking for this meeting.
Okay, let's see. Okay, we have, the oath of office, let's just say that'll be 15 minutes. Can we do it in 10? Can we get
I think we
everybody
can
up
do it in
and,
10, yeah.
everybody up and moving?
Yeah.
That's the whole thing, getting people to move.
And just send out a reminder
Okay,
letting them know.
and then we have, the presentations, we have 4, 5. Well, I don't have a time, I don't have minutes for, how much time were we giving?
5 for Carl Jr.
Yeah.
Vera, considering the length of our agenda, would we like to limit general public comment to 1 minute for this meeting, especially
Sounds
since
good.
we have
We can do
Sears?
that. Yeah, they're gonna wanna say a lot about
Yeah.
Sears, so
Mhm.
I think they'll be able to use their time better there.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that fine?
Did you have,
Terry and Jimmy?
Huh?
I said most of the
Yeah, it's
discussion's
number
gonna be
9.
around Sears, so we can give them one on that.
oh, okay.
Okay,
Well, it
so,
should be a
Yeah,
question.
okay.
You know, and you could do, I mean, do you have a question? Okay. It should be listed a second to ask the question. You cannot give them the history of Boyle Heights.
or your history. Not you, because you don't do that, but some people want to say
Oh my
Their
God.
biography.
where they came
What
from.
they did and what their titles were.
Okay,
and-
so let's say 10 minutes for that. 10 minutes for general public comment. Somebody's adding these up, please?
Yep.
4 for Viaduct, 5 for Cesar Chavez, 5 for Raceros, 5 for Carlos Jr. And then we have,
Government reports, we don't know how long
Do we know if anyone is actually coming out for government reports?
no, I'll find out. I'll send out an email. Well, I know that we started,
Yeah. They usually come.
Rocio said she would be there, if not, she would have someone there to give us the oath, so definitely they'll be there.
Can we just add a bullet then just to put Councilmember Weisar's office?
Is doing the oath?
No,
Or
just
after-
under government reports, just add a bullet below it, just to say Councilmember Weisar's office.
And
And we technically have it open-ended for them to be there, but I just feel like it's
no
one of
problem,
those.
this way we're making them accountable. Okay, so, let's give them, they're usually pretty quick. They usually come up unless people have questions, but we'll ask them to ask after, so we'll cut it. So right here, we'll put 5, and we usually get, who else? We haven't really had anybody else. have we?
Yeah, I just feel like if they really want to give a report to the community, they should get in touch with us so that we
Yeah,
can put it
ahead
on
of
the
time.
agenda and we can plan